The Triaagonal by Huw Davis. The room was grey, the floor was made of wood. There was a corridor so long that you couldn't see the end of it. There were doors, there were lots of doors. Here there was a floor of white tiles, and the end seemed so far away, as if the corridor went on forever. One of the doors, the one that was grey like all the others, was unsuspecting and had nothing special. It was just a door. Or was it? Only if you were to take a peek inside, you would see the reality. The room had walls of steel and a floor of concrete that was so secure that no one knew about the reality. The great secret, the greatest secret in the land. The Triaagonal. It was big, it was black, pitch black. It had been described as a place so big, yet so small, that it could fit in one room. It had been described as something the size of a small marble that had infinite potential, potential so big it could fill the universe. However, it had also been described as just an overdramatic speech, and that the real Triaagonal was nothing more than a ball. Just a ball. Just a small black ball. The Triaagonal, so shrouded in mystery, secrecy and lies. No one had any idea of what it really was. It could be the most special thing in the universe, towering over the world and bringing terror to the entire earth. But then again, it could be nothing of the sort. Just a small, insignificant ball, something no one would otherwise care to exist. But then, the impossible happened. A vent in the ceiling came undone. A rope ladder was lowered, and 3 men with black suits came down it. They ran towards the Triaagonal. The alarms went off. Bright red sirens glaring around them. They pulled at it, and one of the men pulled out a black bag. And just as quickly as the men came, they left. The door opened. Several men with blue uniforms and wildly barking dogs entered the room, but it was too late. The Triaagonal was gone. Outside the building, there was a black car. It was parked in a crevice around the back of the building. There was a thud. A black bag had been chucked out of a nearby window, followed by a man climbing out of it, then another, then another. One of them threw the bag in the boot, while another one got in the front. The others then got in, followed by the rumble of an engine and a dark grey cloud of smog, and then the black car began to move. At that moment, a black car was spotted leaving the car park. Through the entrance, it nearly crashed into another car, but dodged it, with the sound of screeching tyres echoing all around. It was going fast. As it turned out, the car it nearly crashed into happened to be a police car. The men were in big trouble. It wasn't the only one either. There were now about 4 or 5 police cars, with their sirens blaring out noise. The only thing louder was the sound of screeching tyres as the black car turned onto the motorway. Now it was really going fast. It was going several times faster than everyone else, other than the police, which were catching up. The police were not stupid, and they knew that there happened to be roadworks ahead, as signs were starting to tell. There was nowhere for the men to go now. But they ignored the signs, every last one. They didn't realise anything until they realised that there was a hole in the road ahead. The police began to slow. There was once again the sound of screeching tyres as the black car came to a stop. They had nowhere to go. They had nothing to do. A policeman came towards them, and he wasn't happy. Not one bit. The men were in trouble. Deep, trouble. Ultimately, the men got themselves into prison. The Triaagonal was moved to an even higher security place. The Triaagonal was once again safe, and the men were stuck in prison. Their sentence was for life. The story made the paper, and everyone knew about the Triaagonal, and the men who tried to take it for themselves. What they didn't know, however, still was what it actually was. But then, the impossible happened. A guard came to the cell where the men had been kept. The cell was empty. There was no one there. The police were notified immediately. They were not happy. They scrambled to get to the building where the Triaagonal was now kept. They drove the motorway. They arrived with a trail of smog. It was getting dark. They entered the building. They went through the room with the wooden floor. They entered the corridor. It still appeared to have no end. The police went to the grey door that looked like all of the others. They took a peek inside. They saw the reality. It was too late. The Triaagonal was gone.